Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. My name is Chris Salem, your host. You found us here at the TALRadio.org website. Hope everyone is enjoying their week. And again, you found us here at TAL Radio, and we're also on Spotify, Apple, and also the video portion of this show on YouTube. We highly encourage you to subscribe to any of those other areas where you can get this content here on Business Influencers each and every week as we bring in subject matter experts to help raise your level of influence and take your business to the next level. Whether if you're an individual, a team, or an organization, we target all aspects of business leaders across the board. And if you'd like to see content on a future show that we have not covered, feel free to reach out to our team here at chris@christophersalem.com. We'd be more than happy to see about covering it for a future show and aligning with a subject matter expert that can share insights to that area. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, it is a membership program, taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with. It also offers a wide array of different services not available to the general public to help move you and your career to the next level. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about here, think like a tech company, the blueprint for future-proofing your business. Here, you're going to learn about a 5-step framework that any organization can use to maximize profit and build a sustainable future. Our subject matter expert will be Arun Pattanayak, and he's going to share the strategy to be used by top tech firms use to maintain a competitive edge and how any organization like yourself can leverage them to ensure long-term success. A little background about Arun before we bring him on officially. He's the founder and CEO of Tipsora, where he provides fractional CTO services to startups and small to mid-sized businesses that don't have a dedicated CTO. With a passion for technology and deep understanding of the industry, Arun is committed to helping organizations unlock their full potential through data-driven insights and informed decision-making. And without further ado, we welcome Arun Pattanayak to the show. Arun, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for the introduction, Chris.
Thank you for being here, taking time out of your busy schedule. So, Arun, let's, I guess, start with, when we look at, how can we think like a tech company? Any successful business has got to have a good tech strategy behind them if they're going to really take their business and their industry to the next level. Talk a little bit about, I guess, from your experience, the background before you get into the 5-step framework, why this is so important for organizations.
Yeah, I mean, we're going through a fundamental shift right now with AI. And, my career has been, always in tech. And, I worked for startups, small, mid-sized companies, large corporations, and now Microsoft, so over the years, I saw the strategies that companies use. That you look at a company like Facebook coming out of college and becoming one of the biggest company. Similarly like Google, Amazon, they all nobody knew them, but they had a good idea and they got started and they grew to what they are today. Right? So I kind of observed companies in all stages. I had the opportunity to work with different companies in different stages. And, I saw the strategies that they are implementing. And now with AI, in technology, we always say that every company is now a technology company. So it's not that you have to think about technology as a tool or something you use in the company. You have to be the technology company because, there is a reason why the biggest, the richest company in the world today are all technology companies, because technology is what's going to give you the biggest return on investment. So the companies who are able to leverage technology to excel at something, they are the ones that, get remembered, and they are the ones who get an edge over everyone else. And, you don't have to be a technology creator. You can be any company, but as long as you leverage technology the right way to grow your way to the leader, you can be a technology company. And I think now every company should be a technology company. So that's kind of from where this idea came, because being in tech, I hear that, to me it feels very natural that why shouldn't a company be like a tech company? It doesn't matter what they do, because they use tech and they can create tech, right? But the thing is, like, when I go out and talk to companies in the traditional business sense, they don't see it that way, because I'm always surrounded by technology people. So to me it feels natural, but to them it doesn't, right? So that's why I said, I need to find a way to bridge this gap and let people realize that, yeah, these big tech companies have done it, but they can do it too. And there is a strategy that is proven, that has worked again and again for all these big tech companies, that can work even for a smallest traditional business company.
Yeah, I love that. And if you could share with us, especially we want to make sure the companies that, people that are listening that are running their own business, whether it's a small company, mid-sized company, or even a small business, why this is so important and why you should start thinking about this. Arun, share with us like this 5-step framework that any organization can use to maximize profit for a sustainable future, to future proof their business. Like, where would that start if you could walk us through that?
Yeah, yeah. So, the step one is find your niche, right? Is what is it that you can do that others cannot do easily, or, at least, you are considered popular, and, it just naturally comes to you. People know you for that, that's a field where you can easily get business, right? So always start with that, because every big company started with one good idea that they had, or one thing they were able to do right that others were not, right? So you have to find what that thing is for you. Maybe you are already a well-known business, you're already, people know you for something, right? So that can be your niche, right? Once you know that, it's a matter of finding ways to make it more efficient, you know, to have more, I like to say investable income, right? People say savings, or the net profit, right? But I like to say investable income, right? So yes, you have a profit, so there is money in the bank. But if you are just sitting on the money, no matter whatever savings interest rate that you are getting, that's not going to grow as fast as if you were able to invest it to build the tech that's going to make you the big company that you want to be, right? So that takes me to the next step, that once you are able to create that operational efficiency, to create that investable income, where do you invest it, right? So that takes me to the next step, which is diversify. You could be one thing that became popular because of something that people are known for, but guess what? There are competitors who are always trying to play catch up, right? And I think Microsoft is best example of that, right? Microsoft started with Windows, but now if you look at the product portfolio of Microsoft, it's a very nicely evened out, pie chart, right? Even, you look at Google, that started with a search engine company, they have now become the alphabet company. So they are putting together all the letters of the alphabet to create a company of each letter, because all these companies understand the benefit of diversification, right? Your portfolio needs to be diversified, because no matter how good you are in one thing, people are catching up to you. So before they catch up to you, you need to diversify your investment and create other things around it that makes it more sustainable. And then that goes into the next step, that once you have that, you need to create that culture of growth. So you are not just growing your own core business, you are growing things around it, and it all is based on building a culture of growth. Your people in your company should be a growth mindset. They should have ownership mindset. So there is whole track around how you build your compensation plan and incentivize people, so they are always invested in growing your company, right? So the third step is how do you grow, right? The fourth step is to become a platform. This is where you are now acting like a tech company, right? Microsoft created Windows, but they didn't just make money selling Windows. Windows became popular because it became a successful platform that everybody wanted to create apps on Windows, right? Apple created this whole economy around iPhone because of all these other companies that created apps on iPhone. So you need to think about how you can be the platform where others can create stuff on you, right? And add more value to your platform. As more people who use your stuff to create more stuff, more security for you, and more growth for you. That's what's going to take you to the next level of being an established business, right? Now, finally, the last stage. This is taking that technology company mindset to the next level, where you become the innovator. This is where you start setting up your research and development. Now you start creating stuff, right? Like Apple was known for their Mac, then they created iPhone, right? So, Microsoft had Windows, but now it's ChatGPT, it's the co-pilot, right? So now that you have become the platform, you have officially become a tech company. Now you need to invent and create your own self-driving car, create your own iPhone, create the next big thing that you are going to be known for.
Yeah, wow. This is powerful stuff. We hope everybody's listening is taking notes and making sure that what was shared by Arun, that you share this with someone that can definitely benefit, because there's some really great insights here. And we encourage everyone to go back and listen to this show over again, because a lot of great information here. So Arun, with the five steps that you just shared, this five-step framework, things are always constantly evolving in any industry, right? Audiences demands and requirements can change, and companies may have to shift things in their products and services. But obviously, the tech has got to adapt to that as well in order to sustain. Any other insights that you could share there that could help, again, future-proof your business moving forward?
Yeah. So that's why that diversification aspect of it
Yep.
is important. That you might be good at one thing, but people are catching up.
Yeah.
So you need to have stuff surrounding your core business that you are able to divert when one thing comes up, that one part of your business is suffering. So the other parts of the business need to kind of sustain the loss that one part of the business might have, right? So that's where that diversification aspect is important. And also the growth mindset, right? So
Yes.
just because you are doing one thing doesn't mean that's all you ever do. Like that's the fixed mindset, right? If you stay there and one change happens, you are not able to adapt, right? So you have to always have that growth mindset and learn how the market is changing, what new technology is coming up that you could leverage to gain competitive advantage, right? Or what are some new strategies that you could be
Yeah.
thinking, right? And this is where it's not all on you. It could be your employees, right? So you have to create that culture of innovation, create that ownership mindset of among people, that your people are always coming up with ideas of how to grow a company to the next level. So you need to give people the opportunity to share their ideas and own their ideas and invest into it, right? So as their ideas mature and they become successful, it's your success. Your people's success is your success, right? So you know having that growth mindset and allowing people to create new stuff, right? This is where, like, I like to say, people get scared when I say this, but you need to be your own competitor, right? People are
Yeah.
like, what? You want me to compete with myself? I don't want competition. Like, nobody wants competition. But guess what? Competition is inevitable, right? That's how the capital market is
Well,
created,
it's
right?
how it keeps people on their toes to be innovative and
Exactly.
creative.
Exactly, right? You might think you are doing one thing and that's great, but guess what? Somebody might come with another way of doing it that might be better, and then you are going to lose business. So rather than having somebody else create it, it's better that you yourself create it,
Yeah.
and you yourself let go your old business and move on to the new model, right? Microsoft has reinvented itself from going to the Windows and license software model to the cloud model, right? So Microsoft is reinventing itself. So you need to start reinventing it yourself and come up with that new way of doing things and let go the old thing, because if you don't do it and your competitors do it, then it's too late.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. And I love what you said about the growth mindset because if it's from the top down that hey, this is how we've always done it, that's what's going to get people stuck, right? So if people want to be more open-minded, more open to new ideas, that environment has got to encourage it. So it's got to be that psychologically safe workspace that somebody can say, if I have an idea, I don't have to be afraid to step up and say something. I can share it. And it doesn't mean everyone has to agree, but at least I feel like I have the power to do that. And that's what's going to get people, to step up in their role and duties, like you said, and which are critical, I think, going forward. And I love the competition thing because, and would it be safe to say with the younger generations like the Gen Z and the younger, maybe younger millennials, if you make it fun, almost like a game like type competition, they might be more likely to embrace it even more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's one way to do
Yeah.
it. But I am a core believer that people naturally want to grow. You have to be able to relate what people want to what you want, so that
Mm,
you incentivize people based on what their need is, right? For large number of people, it could be money, right? That they created an idea, so they become like the director of something. So they get an investment bucket, so it's kind of like their own company within the company, and they get that leadership status. A lot of people want that, right? And there are other people who just want the intellectual satisfaction, right? People who just like to do research, right? So give people that opportunity to do research, and produce paperwork, and let them be famous in the field. And as they become that famous scientist, your company name gets carried over, right? So depending on what people value, you need to incentivize people in that way,
mm.
so that as they try to grow themselves, is the company grows by itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. I love that what you shared there, and so important. And anything like with this blueprint, like it's a process. Like, and you mentioned it's a 5-step process, and it's not a matter of trying to do everything all at once. Like it's like
Yeah.
if you were to go to the gym and you're going to lose 30 pounds, you're not going to do all these things. If you try to do everything all at once, you're going to set yourself up for failure. But it's committing to the process and then do it. Start with the first step, work it, get good at it, and then I guess you move forward from there. Would it be safe to say treat it like a process,
Yeah.
not trying to get it all done overnight?
Yeah, and it's a process, and it's not necessarily a linear process. It's
Yeah.
a feedback loop. You have to kind of keep doing it over and over again. It's not that, okay, you found your niche and you diversified, so now you don't need to think about, well, as you diversified and created these new businesses would have their own niche, right? So again, you need to, do operational efficiency on those. So it's a feedback loop that you just have to keep doing it over and over again. And, companies don't hire me to do all five steps because, it could take years, right? Different companies are at different stages. And when I go and talk to them, I try to find out where they are in which stage. And so I say, in that stage, you want here, you want to go here, this is what I can do for you at this stage that will get you here, right? So
Yeah.
that's how I engage. So people don't engage for a long term, people engage short term, few months to 1 year. So try to find out at what stage they are and how can I help them. And of course, if I stay there for the long haul, I can see the whole growth, right? And then that's what I have done with many technology companies where I have seen that growth happen. I would like to do the same as a fractional CTO for my customers.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Great, great stuff that you shared here. What would be some like in terms of, the people involved? Obviously, this has got to start. I mean, to be successful, it'd have to start from the top down, correct? Like, like if it's dependent upon the size of the company. But if it's not happening, can somebody still be the example on some level, like in wherever they are in their role and duties in that organization? But ultimately, it would be best if it came from the top down.
Yeah, yeah. Like, if it comes from the top, it becomes an, faster implementation because
Yes.
like the boss wants it, you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
But, it could be one of the employee who takes an initiative, right? Google is a good example of that. They have the search engine, but like Sundar Pichai, who is now the CEO, he actually came up with this idea of Chrome. So he was a project manager for this new browser called Chrome, right? And he showed that this is a successful way to kind of, compete with even Windows, right? That he created this Chrome OS that this nobody thought that this browser can be operating system on its own. Now, like there are Chrome laptops, right? So it could be one of your employee who starts a project that becomes popular enough that it can be the new identity for the
Yeah.
company, right? So that person can show that, hey, with this much investment, I grew this. If you give me more, I can, take this to change the company's identity, right? And that's what Google did, and that's how Sundar Pichai is now the CEO, right? So, is somebody within your company who is able to take a small project and turn it into something big, you got to give that person opportunity to step up to the leadership.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Wow, this is just really great information, and again, we highly encourage everybody listening, taking notes. You're going to get an opportunity to find out how you can get in contact with Arun. So if you have questions or more information, you're going to get that information. That'll also be in the show notes. We're getting down to the end of the show, Arun. Before you let people know what you're up to, anything you like to provide them, how can they get in contact with you? Just in the next 30 seconds or less, just any summarize or any impact statement you'd like to leave the audience on what you shared here today.
Yeah, I mean, I would say don't just open your mind and don't think that technology is for the tech company. You can be the tech company, talk to someone who knows technology and start discussing what's possible. So that's how it starts.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here on the show, and let the audience know how can they get in contact with you or anything that you'd like to provide or share with them.
Yeah, I mean, my name is very unique as long as you know how to spell my name. My website is arunansupatnayak.com. My email is arun@arunansupatnayak.com. My website has all my social media contact. And another advantage of having a unique name is that, you can search for my name anywhere. All the pages are going to be about me. It's very easy to find me on LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm on almost all the social
Absolutely. And you're a
media.
speaker as well. So anybody that's listening,
Yeah.
that has an event that where this content can really align very, very well, make sure to reach out to Arun because he's a fabulous speaker speaking on this content. Awesome. Thank you, Arun, for taking the time to be with us here today. We greatly appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. Again, we are committed to bringing in subject matter experts like Arun in each and every week to help elevate you, your team, and your organization to the next level in terms of your business and influence. Because without influence, we can't impact and help others to grow in doing what they do best. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll be back same time next week with another guest sharing their insights to help move you forward. And we'll see you then. Take care.